It appears the Manhattan case against the Trump organization is beginning to unravel. According to reports, a high-ranking employee of the Trump organization named Jeffrey McConney, the company controller and chief lieutenant to former chief financial officer Allen Weisselberg, decided to become the fall guy for any of the off-the-books perks in Weisselberg's salary. It's according to court documents revealed by the Daily Beast. According to testimony, McConney told a grand jury that he just didn't know what was going on. I didn't know that what I was doing was wrong. Here's his quote. I didn't think or know they had to be reported. Again, these perks to these people, to employees, like free housing, I didn't know they had to be reported as income. Well, I thought the apartment tuition, I didn't know they had to be included as income. I never thought until recently. Oops, now I fixed it. Investigators believe that Weisselberg's corporate perks, an apartment, luxury car, and private school tuition for his grandchildren were kept off the books to avoid paying taxes on them. But McConney insists that they were only a generous gesture to Mr. Trump. And the company and Weisselberg says this testimony proves that there's no criminal conspiracy, Oh, no. Very, very generous. Very generous. Now, when you think of Trump, does generous come to your mind? No, not to me. This guy's like the stingiest motherfucker in the world. He's the guy that stiffed the Freedom Girls. Remember the Freedom Girls? Played for him in 2016. Wouldn't pay him. Didn't pay him. He's also skipped out on paying numerous cities for his rallies for security concerns. He owes them money and he still hadn't paid them. He's declared bankruptcy no less than 5 times in order to skip out on paying loans that he has taken out. The guy's not generous. He doesn't even pay his bills. Every dealing, understand, with Trump is transactional. The guy rewards loyalty and usefulness, and then, when he has to, pays people off to keep quiet. That's Trump. Look, the relationship with Stormy Daniels, great example. In that whole thing, we remember the reports where she alleged that they had sex. And also there were the allegations that they tried to pay her off using Michael Cohen to facilitate those payments. Now, that is something that Michael Cohen served prison time for. Now, Weisselberg, understand why this is important. Weisselberg controls the money. Controlled the money in the Trump organization. So Weisselberg would know if there was money laundering and tax fraud, bribery, all these different things. It follow the money, follow the money. Now, in that case, Mr. McConney would have also known where the money was and what it was going to. But he testified over and over again to the grand jury that at the time of the alleged events, I didn't think I was doing anything wrong. No, in giving all these, not writing down or including all these perks in the books for different employees. Well, I didn't think that was wrong. No, not at all. In fact, this is according to Susan Nischels, a lawyer for the Trump organization. So here's what she said. The extent that certain alleged fringe benefits did not get reported as taxable income, well, that was an error on his part. That means Mr. Connie did not act willfully, an essential element of a criminal tax offense. Oh, he didn't know. He didn't know. I'm sorry, ignorance of the law should not be a way out of the law. But these people are rich, so they're going to skate. So it doesn't matter. Now, other things that he didn't know. McConney had also previously told investigators that he probably didn't know that the company should not have used its donor-funded charity to pay off a lawsuit settlement or donate $25,000 to then Florida Attorney General Pam Bondi. I didn't know. I didn't know that I was doing anything wrong. Rampant corruption in our organization? No, of course not. A source also said that during his testimony, he was less than forthcoming. So obviously not going to flip. No, so here's the thing, right? So either this guy is the most unqualified moron that has ever worked as an accountant and should have been fired 100 times over, or he's willing to throw himself on a sword for Trump. I think we know. But it gets worse. According to the Daily Beast, it's not clear exactly what McConney told the grand jury or whether he possibly slipped up and incriminated Trump, Weisselberg, or anyone else, but his cooperation allows him to avoid charges for any crimes he might have revealed in his testimony, although he could potentially be charged with perjury if it was proved that he had lied under oath. So, yes, he's taking the fall for Donald Trump, and now is going to very likely get away with it. So understand that this is our so-called justice system. Look, without this guy flipping, he's not going to flip Weisselberg. And so Weisselberg, by the way, is set to stand trial this summer. He's not going to flip either. In fact, look, Weisselberg's been trying to get a state judge to dismiss this case, and so far has been unwilling to cooperate in the investigation. And so, as far as this goes, no. What doesn't help is that prosecutors have also decided not to go after Weisselberg's son, Barry, who ran the all-cash Woolman ice skating rink in Central Park. He also received untaxed corporate perks. Let me get into the details on that. There was a report from said that Jennifer Weisselberg, a cooperating witness, handed over a decade's worth of tax returns and financial documents, showing that her ex-husband did not report all of his income and that he received corporate perks that should have been declared as taxable income. Jennifer Weisselberg previously told Insider Jacob Shamson that the Trump organization controlled employees by giving them houses and tuition instead of raises, and that Barry was living in a Trump apartment rent-free. In 2018, Weisselberg's family member was allowed to occupy a different Trump-owned apartment on East 61st Street in Manhattan with no reported rent at all, according to the indictment. Other corporate perks prosecutors had looked at included discounts on garage fees and tuition fees. Hundreds of thousands of dollars in school fees for Barry Weisselberg's children were also paid during that time, using checks that Trump had apparently signed himself. I mean, it is so incredibly clear that yes, this is tax fraud, but it doesn't matter. Another piece of leverage, gone. Gone. The Southern District of New York has dropped the ball again. Look, this guy's going to get away with it as a fall guy. And Allen Weisselberg, likely not going to be convicted because of the lack of evidence, right? They'll not flip on Trump. And the entire case in New York is falling apart. And by the way, there's absolutely no explanation as to why this is actually happening. I know it though. They want Trump to get away with it. Look, the Southern District of New York under Alvin Bragg has showed incredible cowardice. They're dropping the case. Oh, they say, oh, no, we're still doing this. We're still investigating this. No, you're not. You've actively stalled in this investigation. I mean, and that's even though former lawyers who are working on the Trump case say that, yeah, no, we have more than enough evidence to go after Donald Trump on this, on tax fraud. We have the evidence. And you even had a judge that said that that Trump is likely guilty of multiple felonies related to this. But Donald Trump's going to walk anyway. Very, very likely. Because everybody's dropping the ball for a reason. He's got power. He has power. And it's so incredibly sickening to watch this corruption unfold right in front of my face. We all see it. We all see it. This case is over. They're not coming after him. Just like they didn't come after him for any of the other stuff that he had said, that he had done. They're just going to let him walk. Any hopes that Donald Trump was going to be held accountable for any of the things that he had done, even the most obvious tax fraud? No. And so this is where we're at. In this country, rich, powerful people, especially right-wingers, always get away with it.